Bill was just an incredibly intelligent, articulate, thoughtful staff member who really helped write most of the election and campaign laws in the state of North Carolina.
Well, I don't know anybody who is harder working or more dedicated. And he was willing to work on the weekends, do multiple drafts, think about things from a variety of perspectives. It was a true pleasure to work with him.
Well, I think obviously Bill gave years and years of incredibly dedicated service to the General Assembly. He was particularly effective with election law issues and issues that would come before the Judiciary Committee, which I served on.
Bill was an incredibly outstanding staff member here at the General Assembly. Those of us who had the opportunity to work with him could count on his sound legal advice always. He was very thorough when he brought drafts of legislation to us or outlined particular provisions of a bill. We knew it was going to be thorough. We knew it was going to be professionally well done every time.
I'm very grateful, but I'm not completely sure why I'm getting the award, because I'm just a government lawyer. I mean, what I was just a government lawyer trying to do his job.
Well, Bill was a unique staff person. He was here for probably 25 years. I've known him for about 18 years while we were here. He was extremely dedicated to his work, dedicated to his interest, particularly in the election law areas. To Bill, working here at the General Assembly, particularly on election law issues, was not his vocation, it was his avocation. And he was always into it. Just his curiosity about what was going on and what the laws would be, both in North Carolina and across the United States, was just really remarkable.
After college, I went into newspapers, became a newspaper copy editor and reporter, and eventually city editor, I covered politics. I covered local politics in Winston-Salem and came down to Raleigh to cover the legislature. I wound up being hired by the General Assembly. I didn't think they would even consider doing such a thing. I mean, hiring a reporter who had been saying things, writing things about them that they didn't want written, but apparently the novelty of doing that got the better of their judgment, so they hired me.
Really didn't know how remarkable Bill and the work that he did was until you started talking to people all across the country, and you'd find out more and more that the ideas that we saw here that we thought were just commonplace were really fairly unique in some ways to the nation. And to find out that Bill had had an integral part in helping formulate that and putting those together. He would be working here all regular hours, but he'd be here on nights and weekends. It was just really unusual not to see Bill's light on here in the office.
To the extent that we have a system that is well governed and a system that has worked extremely well in our election process, in our campaign process, it's due in large measure to Bill Gilkeson.
Well, staffers like Bill are incredibly invaluable in the legislative process. For one reason, they have history as their primary tool. They understand, they see over a series of years the changes that the legislature has tried to make, things that have worked, that haven't worked. It gives them a sense of perspective. You know, oftentimes they're very independent-minded and are not necessarily pulled one way or the other in the political process. Their job is to give unbiased information to legislators so that we can make quality decisions. Bill did a terrific job of that. He had that deep historical knowledge that is so important. He had been through the wars, seen the changes, and when a problem would come up or a suggestion would come up, he'd be able to move quickly to get an answer and give us the perspective that we need to make good decisions.
Well, we are so lucky to have the kind of staff that we have, and really Bill would be one of the exemplars on our staff of people who care tremendously about getting it right, giving all the information to the members, being unbiased in their approach. And Bill tried very, very hard to make sure we had everything that we needed to make a good decision.
If you're going to have a democratic system, people who want to do things that you don't like will have a right to try to get them done. And somebody has to draft them. I would draft amendments for people that I did agree with, and I would draft amendments that I didn't agree with. And at the legislature, the democratic process would take care of the result. And I was okay with that. I thought that was an honorable thing to do. I was facilitating democracy.